Hello everyone, my name is Sarah Lewis Ayo, and today I'll be telling you about my migration process to the America. Before I do that though, I want to share a piece of poem that really to me speaks volume about the whole migration process, especially for refugees that escape their countries to come to any other countries in the West. And that is, no one leaves home unless home is the mouth of shark. You only run for the border when you see the whole city running as well. This poem is by Somali poet. I want to share this, my journey process with you, this journey process, because I truly believe that because of this journey process, I'm able to want to give back. Because of what I've been through, I'm able to pave way for people who are experiencing or have experienced things that I've experienced as well, and for me to pave a way for those people. I remember being in my front yard with my sister and I just standing. I remember seeing my father and my mother talking. I remember my father had some papers in his hand, and I remember for the first time my mom was not looking up, wearing her Sudanese toque with her head slightly down. I remember that day seemed confusing. Everything didn't make sense. I remember the next day having to go to school, coming back, and my dad's papers was all over the house, all over the floor. I remember my mom was sitting next to a friend who was trying to, I guess, hug her and make sure she's okay. I remember my mom not want us to see her crying. I remember the following week having to leave our house to go to the outskirts of Sudan, where we met with families that we'd only see during Christmas, Ramadan, or maybe only during Simaya, and that is like the 40th day celebration that we have for babies once they make 40th. I remember having to live there with cousins and grandfather and grandfather's sister. I remember not knowing much, but I was confused. I wanted to go back to my father's house. I wanted to go back to a place where it made sense to my mom and I and my siblings, a place that was a safe haven for me at that time. I remember not really liking the new place that we were in, but having to just sit there and I guess take everything in. In my mind, I was always just ready any day now my father would come. Eventually that didn't happen. All I can remember is one day my uncle came and gave my grandfather and my mother a paper, and for us to make arrangement to leave to Egypt. I remember that journey was long. I remember how scared I was. I remember clinging into my mom's tobe, our traditional Sudanese wear, the whole time. I remember being very scared, being in a boat, and then a train, and then being in this desert area for a while. Learning now, just having to sit there and think, why did we have to go through all that? I remember seeing people who were going through the same process, people that my mom knew through my father. I remember hearing that them explaining to my mom that they were so happy that my dad was able to escape. I learned then that my father was involved with the government. He was against the Sudanese government. He was against the Bashir's government, and that is why he was exiled. He had to leave the country in his exile, can never return back to Sudan. And my mom and her siblings thought that it was best that we would leave, or they were going to come after my mother. I remember having to come to Egypt. Things didn't make sense. Arriving to Cairo, everything, they spoke Arabic, but everything was backward to me. They had an accent, not like Sudanese Arabic. Having to just come to this city, everything is loud and lively. I remember being taken to an apartment, and for a really long time we were really scared to come outside. Until the following years, we started to assimilate, walk down the streets, go to school. And then again, we were asked to leave. My mom came to us and said, we're leaving to America. I remember I was very happy because of the magazines that I would see, and the magazines that my uncles would bring in, and we will see of how America was. And then coming to the America, Louisiana, specifically Lafayette, and it didn't look nothing like the magazine. I was heartbroken. They spoke a language that seemed left to right, literally. Arabic was from right to left. I was heartbroken to learn that. I was confused. I didn't want to be here. I felt like we were lied to. And then having to go the process of relearning everything again, being in a new culture, in a new country, having to relearn people, having to go through the whole process of being discriminated against, being in the Deep South, being against for not speaking English. I remember just looking back, like, why did we have to go through all this? But I could say now, just being in the work that I'm doing with the Louisiana Organization for Refugee and Immigrant, how we pave way for people who have had shared experiences as us, people who have shared my journey, and how we're making it okay for them. Something that I don't think I didn't have in the early 90s. Or if we had, it was very limited because we felt very confused. My mom was such a strong woman, but every day I see my mom sinking into not knowing. At times I didn't know what it was, but I knew my mom was depressed. But knowing the strength that we held, the resiliency of leaving one country to another, it's indeed that no one leaves home unless home is the mouth of shark, and that no one runs for the border unless the whole city is burning and everyone is running. And I truly want to say that this whole journey has really made us the people that we are today. It have really not only humbled me, but strengthened my ability to never give up, and to always give back, and to always reach a hand back to anybody that have shared the same experiences as me, even more, and to give back to anybody in general. Thank you.